this week's assignment. So this week's assignment is to use Node.js to create a server, okay, that is going to host some data that will be rendered by our Angular application. So last week we focused on creating Angular components that rendered courses, then allowed us to navigate to a course viewer, and that course viewer rendered modules and then the lessons for a particular module. So it allowed you to navigate from a course and show the modules, and then when you selected a module, it showed the lessons. So this week we're going to go a little further, and we're going to focus on lessons. That if you select a particular lesson, it would show the topics, and if you select the topic, it'll show widgets, right? But we're not gonna. Last week we showed you how to create Angular components to do that, right? How to navigate between courses and modules, and how to navigate from modules to lessons. So we gave you that. So this week on your own, well, not entirely. You're going to implement the same thing so that you can be able to navigate between lessons to topics, and then from topics to widgets. Okay. Now, for widgets, you already implemented lots of widgets. For the faculty folks, right? You implemented, an image widget, a heading widget, a paragraph widget. There's several of these widgets, right? So we're not going to ask you for you to recreate those, right? Instead, we're going to ask you to instead focus on a couple other widgets. We're going to leave those. Obviously, right, if we were going to build the whole thing, obviously we would need to build all those widgets, read-only widgets, right? Not implement any any forms, because obviously the students are not going to be able to edit those widgets. Right, so if we would implement them, we would implement just only the viewer, right? The preview version of the heading, the image, the paragraph. But nevertheless, we're going to skip over that. Instead, we're going to ask you to implement a quiz widget, right? So in this case, in the topic, whenever you create a new widget, the only type of widget will be a quiz widget. Okay, and the quiz widget is going to be able to have several questions. Right, so one quiz widget will allow you to have many quiz questions, right? And each question can be either a true/false question or a multiple choice question. Obviously, there can be many different types of questions, but to keep it simple, we're only going to deal with these two types of questions, right? So just normally a widget, you can choose the type of widget, right? And you would have these types of widgets, right? But here, they're only going to be one type of widget, right? It's just a quiz widget. But a quiz is going to have many questions, right? And a question can be either multiple choice or true/false. So you're going to need to create a Angular component that allows you to render widgets and then choose. As you add many quizzes, each quiz you can add many questions, right? But each question can be either multiple choice or true/false. All right. Okay. So for this here, the courses, the modules, the lessons, all this is coming from our generic server. Yes. Now the topics and the quiz widgets and all these questions this time around, they're not going to come from the remote generic server. Instead, they're going to come from a server that you're going to create. Right? You're going to create a Node.js server that is going to host these questions, these widgets, okay, these quiz widgets, all right, and then you're going to render that using new Angular components. Okay. Now we're going to give you the data. We're going to give you the data that is going to represent these questions. They're going to be, for now, they're going to be hard-coded pieces of questions and whatnot, and just to get you started. But you should be able to add questions, remove questions, create questions and whatnot, right? And edit these questions. And so you're going to create a RESTful service that is going to allow you to create questions, right? Create questions, remove questions, delete questions, right, for a particular quiz, right? And then your application is going to be able to interact with it, right, and post new answers, new questions, new quizzes, right, for the different data. So here we're giving you some examples on what data you might want to create. Actually, I'm going to remove the students part. I'm going to move the students part to the next assignment, the upcoming assignment, the database MongoDB assignment. So yeah, don't do the student part. I'll remove it. I'll move it forward. Instead, you should be able to create questions such as these, right? You could create a question, a true/false question. JSON stands for JavaScript object notation, and then you have the right answer is true, or here you have CSS stands for cascading style sheet. That's the question, and then it's a true/false question, and the right answer is true. Right, and here I have a multiple choice question. What does JSON stand for? And you should be able to say, well, the options are Java object notation, JavaScript operation notation, JavaScript object notation, JSON object notation, and then you have like a correct answers to and whatnot. Okay. So anyway, you're gonna deploy this to a server, right, running on Heroku, and your Angular application will need to connect to it, right? Okay. All right. Any questions? Hold on a second. Did you just break it, Sunny?
Yeah.
Did you just break it?
No, it's way too high gain.
Okay.
It's like
All right. I gotta go. Sorry. Hello. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? All right.